We all have struggles in our lives, but sometimes we live as caged animals, restrained, boxed in, unable to escape. When we live in these cages, they prevent us from fully living, being able to fully be ourselves. We're in need of breaking free so that we can see and be the people that God calls us to be. We need to be able to run, to explore, to be ourselves. Worry is often one of those things that cages us in our lives. It keeps us from living a life of gratitude and thanksgiving. It prevents us from taking risks or trying new things. It creates unnecessary struggles or barriers in our lives. The passage we heard from Matthew talks about this, about how we all have basic needs in our lives. And they aren't just food and drink and clothing and love, but we also have needs for safety and acceptance and belonging. And all of these needs, we are told, God knows and God provides. And so we are being implored through Matthew to not worry about where these things will come from or how they will come to be, but just to accept that they will be provided, and to allow ourselves in that moment to be freed from the worry. For some of us, this is easier than for others. For some of us, worry is a way of being. It's very much a part of who we are. But it still creates a cage around us. And we're called to move beyond that. For thousands of years of literature has talked about the benefits of cultivating gratefulness as a virtue, says the University of California Davis psychology professor Robert Emmons. Throughout history, philosophers and religious leaders have extolled gratitude as a virtue integral to health and well-being. Now, through a recent movement called positive psychology, mental health professionals are taking a closer look at how virtues such as gratitude can benefit our health by reducing stress, lowering blood pressure, boosting our immune system, and encouraging us to take better care of ourselves. This isn't new, as it says. This idea of being grateful has been around so long that it's even in the Bible. Who would have thought? Something written so many years ago talks about gratitude. So it's a concept we've been mulling over for a couple millennia or more. And yet we seem to struggle so much with this concept of gratitude. There is a great push for us to not just be thankful on Thanksgiving, you've all heard this, but to be thankful every day of our lives. But again, those of us who are more prone to worry struggle then with the ongoing exercise of gratitude. I think back to my good Oprah watching days, and Oprah in her last few years was a big touter of the gratitude journal. The idea, that she apparently practiced herself, that each evening she would write down 5 things for which she was grateful for, and she encouraged others to do the same. She found it was a useful tool to help you get through the struggles that you might be facing in your life. Choosing to focus on the things that we are grateful for rather than the messes in our lives helps us to get through difficult situations by choosing to examine the positive rather than dwell on the negative. So it's very beneficial. Not just for our spirituality, but as we heard, for our mental and physical well-being. Gratitude has a way of changing who we are from deep inside out. And there's different ways of doing that. The journal's one way. Some people find gratitude is something that you might do during meditation or another spiritual practice. You don't always have to write everything down either, of course. You can just sit for a moment and choose to focus on the blessings, the things that we're grateful for in our lives, rather than the negative. I think this is an especially important concept as we age. So often as we age, we can easily dwell upon our losing abilities and our dwindling health. We can think about all the aches and the pains and the struggles rather than focusing on the things that we can still do and choosing to think as well about the blessing that we continue to be in the lives of others around us. So, how do other people feel about me as I age? Well, you'll find out that they feel very much the same way about you as you age as they did feel about you when you're younger. Your children and your grandchildren still love you. Your friends still find you a wonderful companion. A lot of things stay the same despite some of the more negative things that go along with aging. And sometimes things even improve. We have more life experience that we're able to share with others. We often have more time in our lives to offer through volunteering and other such activities to contribute to our community or participate more in the lives of our family. And these are incredible blessings that we should be grateful for. I can't really tell you what you need to be grateful for. That's something you have to find for yourselves, of course. And going along with that idea of a gratitude journal is that you don't just find 5 things in your life and stick with that. Every day I'm just grateful for these same things. But rather, part of being grateful is the idea of striving and stretching ourselves to find new things to be grateful for. And not just the big things like family and friends and food on our table, but the little things too. Like the smile of a child or a little bit of laughter in our day, having a guest or a bit of company, having the ability to get out and walk across the street. Those things are important too, and we should be grateful for them as well. So I challenge you. I challenge you most weeks, but this time I really mean it. I really encourage you, at least for a few days, try it for a week, and don't just journal what you're grateful for, but journal how you feel. And see if, by offering gratitude each day, it changes how you feel in your body, in your mind, in your soul. How do you feel? I think that if we started this practice, many of us would find that we wouldn't want to stop because it really does make you feel better. And it is a way for us to feel more connected to the love of our God.